How's it going, guys? Today I'm going to do a Maribou Jig tying tutorial. I already have one of these up on the channel. This is just a new and updated one that I think I've learned how to tie them up a little bit better, so I'm going to show you how I tie them up. So, things you're going to need. You're going to need some Maribou, obviously. So for this demo I'm going to be using white. A jig head, so I use 1/16 ounce ones. You can use whatever weight you feel would be good. I just use smaller ones like this. If you notice up and around here, it's probably about as long as half my finger probably. So I'm not using overly long jig heads, just small ones. You can add some crystal flash like I got there, which I like to do. It's just a little bit more fish attracting goodies for you. And then also I'm going to put on some white pearl chenille. You're also going to need one of these doohickey tools. I forget what it's called, but that's basically what it looks like. And then you got your uni thread right there. I'm using olive. I personally don't really care about matching the colors with the thread myself, but everyone has their own things. You can match it if you want. I'm just not. This is A-dot, so the higher up and let's see if I can get her to focus. Yeah. So you see, it says A-dot. I'm heavy-handed, so I always get a little bit of thicker thread, so that way it resists the rigors of me pulling on it, basically. Because it's not a matter of if you're going to break your thread and have to start over again. It's a matter of when. So, got my single jig head there. I'm going to take it and put it into the vise, like so. And then what you're going to do, you're going to take your threader. I go around like that, and then up like that to get a thread base going. See, I already got a just jig head. Pull down, and then you're just going to wrap. Like so. So after you get to about the hook point, which is where I usually stop, I will wrap back towards the jig head. Like so. So you're going to have this little piece of thread right there, and you almost can't see it. I'm going to take a arrow point scissor, like this guy right here. I'm going to cut that off. So then the next step I do is the crystal flash here. I add that up onto it. Now, how much you use is again an entirely up to you thing. I just basically use like a little pinch of it, basically. So it's going to come out. It's going to basically come out looking like that when you buy it. And I'm going to take a pinch. So what I'll do actually before I take that pinch is however long I want to make this is how long I'll measure for. So about right there is where I usually like it. So right where it is back there. So I'm going to take my when I say I use a pinch, that's what I about use. So it looks about like 8 to 10 threads, pieces if you will. So then I'm going to sit and set this on the top of the jig like that. Then you're going to take your thread that you have back here, and you're going to wrap on it away from the jig head And then about halfway through, what I'll do is I'll take my fingers and kind of like fluff out the crystal flash, like so. And it's gonna look something like that. And then after you do that, gonna wrap all the way till again about the hook point, like so. And then you're gonna wrap it. You're gonna wrap back towards the jig head. Like so. So then you're going to take a Maribou feather. So I'll zoom out. So in this case it's white. So I'm going to measure, I want a little bit, personally preference here, I want the feather to end a little bit before where my crystal flash ends, just so that way it sticks out a little bit. So I set this on the jig head like so, and right about there. So then, I'm going to zoom back in so you can see what I'm doing. You're going to take your thread, you're going to do a couple wraps, like so. There is another way to do this. There is a way where you would like take the top of the feather and then put that towards here and wrap it back. This is just the way I'm doing it. This isn't the only way to tie this feather. This is just how I do it because it's the simplest for me. So then you're gonna keep wrapping again, and you're gonna go till you're about halfway. Or no, you're going to go all the way till about the hook point again, like so, and push that feather and run it back. So now you have this stem piece here. So what you're going to do is you're going to take, and I take it and I fold it back, like so. And then what you're going to do is you're going to wrap it, and you're going to go towards the jig head after you wrap it. Like so. So then you're going to have this little annoying stem here, right there. Cut that off. Like that. And stem is no good now. So that's what we got so far right there. So then next step that I'll do is the pearl chenille. Widen it out. This guy right here. About that much is what I use. So cut that. In there. So what I'll do then is I'll take my finger, plop it in like that, and I'm going to tightly wrap it twice around the jig head. So on that second time it's going to look like that. I'm going to take my thread now and I'm going to wrap the chenille a little bit. So that way now it's secure and I don't have to sit there and hold it now. So then what I'm going to do from there is you're going to continue to wrap around the body, and you're going to go all the way till the hook point. I go a little bit behind the hook and I fold it over like that. So then after you got that, you're going to wrap. So you can take your thread, you're going to wrap over it. And this you're going to wrap until where your chenille ends down on this half here. So however far you wrap that chenille back, you're going to wrap all the way back. You're not going to stop at the hook point this time. So I'm going to do one of those, and then we're going to wrap back up forward like so. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the thread, do a little loop around the jig head, at the collar, tighten it down. Do one more. Tighten it down. Do a third one. Tighten it down. So after you got that done, you can cut this off. Do like that. So then I'm going to take some head cement, and right here on the collar, you can take that cement, you can just go on the collar like so. You don't need a lot of it, just enough to coat it. And that is it, right there. That is a completed jig. Now you just let the cement dry, obviously. And there it is. It's not the most complicated way of tying it. Like I said, there's better ways of tying it, but I'm just not, my fingers are just not dexterous enough to tie it, and I always end up ripping the feather out when I do it that way. So this is just the way that I found that I can do it. This will work for steelhead, they'll work for smallmouth, they'll work for bluegill, they'll work for everything that you could want to catch that's sports fish wise. You can do a bunch of different colors too, so I got a whole range of colors here. So you're not just limited to white, you can use pink. I'll use pink when the water's dirty and stuff like that, just like egg sacs. There's pink marabou. There's chartreuse marabou. Again, I use that for when the water's dirty. There's black. I use that for dirty and clear water. Clear water, it looks like a leech, and then when it's dirty water, it kind of looks like a shadow. So most fish will just kind of strike a shadow because you're just looking for that profile at that point when they're swimming around in dirty water. So this is good for clear or dirty water. And then you can always use some olive too. Olive is another one I use for clear water and stuff like that. And then there's a couple more. Blue, I'll kind of throw some blue into some other ones to kind of mix it up a little bit, give it a different look. So put a wide out on this one. So that's it. Ain't the prettiest marabou jig in the world, but it's gonna catch you some steelhead, smallmouth, whatever you want to get. Thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate it very much. If you liked it, give it a like and all that good stuff. You sub, check out some more of my tutorials on how to do some stuff. If there's any ways you could think about to improve that tying wise, if you want to pop it down in the comment section, I'm more than willing to take your advice under advisement and try that out for myself. Thanks again for watching. See you in the next one.